It's just to go out the parking lot.
Okay, so have you met with Mr. Spada, Keith?
Yes, I have. Very nice gentleman, spoke to him. Actually coordinated with him one of the last week's meeting with me. And he had another event going on, but the next meeting was going to come down to Worcester County. And it's good to have an alternate. I mean, some of my travel schedule in the wintertime facilities is getting there. So, I'm very happy, very nice man, and we're going to work together.
I appreciate you being here, Keith, and we'll get your town report in a few minutes. And thank you for Ken and Gail from the planning for the town board being here. We appreciate that. Okay, old business. Old business. Okay, that's good. New business. Well, I should say old business. We're all going to review what we heard tonight, right? And check through again through our regulations and make sure we're not missing anything. Brought to our attention.
I've been giving this son for a while now, long before this case even came up.
You might have to speak a little louder, Art.
Yeah. You can hear them yelling out there in the parking lot.
I don't have the guts. Yeah. If we're going to discuss this issue that we had an open meeting on tonight, I've been giving it some thought, and what this young lady is actually selling is the atmosphere of the Catskill Mountains. She's selling the environment to people. She's selling the clean waters and the fresh air and whatever. And contrary to what was said in her letter, I feel strongly that in order for me to say yes to this, that there's going to have to be a time put on it, because there's no past history of glamping. I'm going to refer to it as glamping, glorified camping. There's no past history for us to look back on and say, these possibly could be the issues. Any one of these issues that came out tonight with the public could be a problem later on. So for the last 30 years, as far as I know, we've been putting renewals on junkyards. Anything that's a junkyard in town has to have a renewal every year. Last month, we had a similar issue. It was almost identical if you were to look at the notes and compare them. The neighbors' concerns on the last special permit that we gave out were trespassing and noise. And we put conditions on that. We said that within the year he's going to have to come back, or Warren will go there and review it and make sure that everything's correct. So I don't think that we're being discriminatory in any way by putting a time limitation on her to come back for review. And
You're almost correct. It wasn't junkyards. It was tubing and mining.
no, it was junkyards
Well,
also.
tubing and mining also.
Yeah,
Because I already spoke to.
tubing is an absolute necessity. Mining was an absolute necessity. But the junkyards were the first ones, and I went back 30 years.
Okay.
Because that was the first one that became an issue. And every year they came to us, they reapplied for their permit, we went and we looked at the property and whatever. But getting back to what I was saying, and thank you for that one, that this is a new thing. This is something that nationwide we have no experience to judge what can happen. And contrary to what was said tonight, I know several young people that are paying $400 a day to live in a treehouse. You know, it's not something that we say, oh, you know, for $150 you can stay in a nice motel in Kingston. It's the experience they're buying. I gave Warren a newspaper article tonight just to look at on what's becoming very popular now are weddings. In this exact situation, people are staying in tents, they're having weddings. The young lady that they wrote the article about clearly came out and said, I was never a young girl to think of myself in a white wedding dress. I'm a camping girl, I want to camp, I want to do these things, and that's my life. And I see more and more of the young people coming back to the basics of these things. So, my suggestion to the board, and we'll discuss it more, I'm not trying to steer anybody, but I think it's very important that we put a review on this after a certain time.
Can I comment on that? I have two comments.
Sure.
The applicant is going to be spending and investing money in doing this. And the applicant needs the feeling that this will not be taken away after spending all the money, and it won't be withdrawn unreasonably. And tonight, we have heard, and in the past, some unreasonable comments. Wants to assure the applicant that a year from now or 2 years from now, when the permit has to be renewed, that there won't be unreasonable and untrue comments made to try and prevent the applicant from continuing their operations.
Because there'll be facts. They were playing music till 3 o'clock in the morning. It's fact.
There'll be, we have we open up the folder and it looks like this, versus it looks like this, then we know that there's a problem. And it would behoove her to pay attention. She seems to want to. I can understand all of the residents, their concerns, because like Art said, just went through this 2 months ago. So as of yet, today, I have not gotten any formal complaints with regards to the previous one. Not to say it won't happen in the summer when it's nicer out, people want to stay out longer, but it's something we can keep an eye on. I understand your concerns, and it would be nice to reassure both sides that things will go as planned.
Well, most of these fears are what might happen.
That's right.
We got a lot of what might.
Now, if it doesn't happen,
Even
How
if
are
it's
we gonna-
found, sorry.
how are we gonna find out that it didn't happen unless we give it a try? So,
And if
plus, we do have other things. There's the camp, there's Uncle Pete's, and it's, I don't know what the difference is between Uncle, except the
Uncle Pete's is a camp.
the tents are different.
That's a yeah. So
You'd have to classify his
if she's
camps.
found in violation, at the public hearing and say, let's just say a year, just for argument's sake, she would still have 60 days to correct whatever issues came up. It's not just like, she shows up, gets blindsided by the thick folder and is shut down.
And to answer your question, Alan, I also thought about what you said. What she's selling is the environment and the surrounding area. So it's also protecting her business to conform. You follow what I'm saying? This is also a protection for her, not only the neighbors. Her business is not going to survive if who's going to come and sleep next to somebody who's up at 3 a.m. playing loud music and stuff. So this is a protection for her. So I think that when we get the list of what she's going to do and whatever, that should be written right into the agreement, and then after a year we'll review it, and if things are fine, God bless her, everything went well, she kept her word, and the neighbors are happy, and we understand what the glamping procedure is going to involve now, and things like that. But not having a history for us to say yes without conditions is beyond what I can think of.
I still keep saying we do have a history of the camp, whatever it is on Route 28 is campground. The structures are different, but the
Right,
idea
and
of people
also,
coming and going,
Those people are not paying $200 a night, John.
it shouldn't matter.
It should, because
This
hopefully
should make it better.
It should make it better.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, that's what I'm saying.
And the Black Bear, who knows, a bunch of kids. I see them all in there buying truckloads of beer.
My concern is that I don't know if I really want to relinquish all the control right away.
No, I agree.
No, regulate, we need to regulate. It's not that you're against it. You just want some sort of.
I'm not against it at all. I believe that she has a constitutional right that agrees with our ordinance. And I agree that we have a constitutional right to our citizens to enforce it in the best way we can. And that 11640 gives us that entitlement to do that. You know? So,
Right, our mission that we discussed before the year started was that we're here to help people through the process, not to throw monkey wrenches at them. You know, when speculation versus somebody's dream, we side towards somebody's dream and try to help it along within the process, within the, as long as it agrees with our town regulations. So,
It seems like almost every use in the book, you could throw a whole bunch of what ifs. What if this is, what we really have to worry about is what will happen. I mean, you don't want a cement plant next to you, but
Well,
a
I think
campground
the whole purpose of a public hearing is to be able to hear both sides.
Yeah.
And, you know, quite frankly, I know many of the people that are in the audience, I've known them for all my life almost. I understand where they're coming from to a certain extent. And I think our goal should be to find a balance.
absolutely.
A balance. And whatever that takes to assure them that we are going to do everything we can to bring them this sense of security on their own property, and to also provide her with the opportunity to bring other people into the community to have a new growth in the town of Shandaken.
Right, we definitely have an obligation to protect the neighboring properties.
Well, on those topics, do you want me to respond since somehow they figured that I'm now the chairman of the planning board? County does. They're sending all the correspondence. Don't worry, the zoning board is doing the same exact thing. All the correspondence comes to me now. So I was going to wait till after tonight's meeting. If you want, I'll respond to them. Because some of the things that they brought up, like the access, it's not a state road, it's town road. So it may not have been clear on the map. And some of the other things, I'm waiting for, I was hoping John wasn't going to leave right away. I was waiting for that letter from Michael about the structure of the bridge before I go have a fire truck right across it. And he said he would, so I'll.
did the fire department get in touch with them? Has everybody met each other?
We're not. I'm not proceeding. I don't remember. If you remember at the workshop, Michael North was here. He is the engineer. He's the owner. And I asked him to generate the letter stating what the capacity of the bridge was. Once he sends me that, I will then meet with the fire department and see about the feasibility. But I'm not having anybody drive a vehicle across that bridge until I'm assured that it will handle it. And we'll go out and take a look and see what Gary thinks.
The 1 year conditional special use permit is not an odd thing at all. I was at the planning board meeting for the city of Kingston the other day, and the gentleman from the family of Woodstock was there, and he has to come before them once or twice a year on different projects for the very same reason, just to get that renewed, because it's a safeguard. And
Do you know how long he's been doing that offhand?
he sounded like he does it all the time.
Oh, is it the family of Woodstock?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to guess close to a decade.
Yeah.
It's been ongoing.
But one of my concerns was, at the last meeting, there was no problem, and when I left here, I felt that everybody was in agreement for the 1 year, and I was saying to myself, this is a great thing. And then after reading this letter, that she said that she doesn't want a conditional permit now, and I said to myself, boy, that changed, because it was very clear that she was promoting it at the last meeting. So I just want to make sure that that doesn't happen on other things that we're discussing.
we'll look into that, the reasons of why she's changing her mind on that. Any other discussion? Okay, so, new business. I presented something last workshop meeting, but I've had exams all week at the college. I had to get prepared for other students, so I did not bring that tonight. So,
Powers called, will be bringing in revised maps stamped by a surveyor at the next workshop. Brian Powers, his subdivision,
Oh, okay.
not subdivision, his lot line revision. He called me today to apologize that he didn't have time. He
Have a-
was forthcoming.
I have a question about that. I didn't notice on the map, Brian, this sounds strange, but it's country living. Brian Powers owns the Chichester water system, which is a municipal water district. And I was wondering which lot it's
He's
on.
keeping it.
He's keeping it because somebody has to be responsible for it, and that would be a whole interesting matter if he was to sell that.
No.
It's
I'll
staying.
I'll review the map again. I'm pretty sure that when he came in, when he was showing it to me, it's like, that, you know, this is what I'm doing, but I'm keeping this. I'm keeping the water on my property. And he draws a line, and the line shows going down with a buffer from the water to the adjacent property.
I thought that water system was defunct.
No, that water system is still in operation, and there's money to be collected each year from the residents, and he's neglected to do it for 1 or 2 years, but I think it was about 2 years ago they went in there and cleaned out the whole system and the cistern, and
But I mean, the pipe hanging across the creek,
still working.
I thought it didn't work anymore. Everybody had to get wells.
All the houses across on the other side of the street that were the workers for the Chichester
Yeah.
factory, a lot of them are still hooked up to it.
Okay.
You wouldn't by chance be connected to it, would you?
I mean,
You wouldn't be connected to it, would you?
I drilled my own well, but I am still connected to it.
I wondered what your concern was.
No, I'm still connected to it, but I drilled my own well.
Warren, do you know who the engineer and surveyor is?
Well, I don't know, he didn't reference the surveyor. The engineer was a forester. That was the one that did the GIS mapping. Yeah, so, yeah. That's why he was getting a surveyor.
Okay.
He said he was working with his surveyor to clarify everything,
Good.
to resubmit. Yeah. He understood that one.
Sounds like we got a busy schedule for next month. Any other old business? Any issues? We're still working on the
Yeah, still trying to.
comprehensive plan.
I'm not
We're
for the
still,
next part of it. I have Kathy's that I got, and I have John's that I got, and we're starting to work through the list. Thank you very much for doing such a nice job.
Keith, county report?
Well, again, we only had one case that came about, it's the trail on 28, where they're replacing the old trailer with a newer trailer. Of course, there's no county impact on that. And then one of our board members had brought up a question. He was from the early area and brought up about the trains, unfortunately, that I don't know if you know that their trains will stop their operation as of the 31st. I mean, the legislature did not, it's been put off to next month. So right now, I did confer with someone who used to be on the board with the trains. Seems that there's a bit of loggerheads involved there. He's not on the board anymore, so he can talk. They just said that they just can't seem to see eye to eye. So the trains may be pretty much done. Again, I tried to get the Freeman aspect of it, tried to get a little, Dennis talked a little bit about it, but really said the tracks were in play, but they're looking for a new vendor. They're waiting for bids to come in. But again, the season's going by us, and I know our train up here, I mean, it takes care of a lot of visitors. It's a great little attraction. So I know it's not planning board business, but one of the planning board members actually can bring it up since Dennis has been involved in it.
So they postponed the awarding of the usage of the track, because I know there were 6 or 7 different entities
That's what they're saying, yeah, but, they put it off, to next month, but, you know, it's summertime. This is something that probably should have been done a while back. I mean, I'm in the ski and snowboard business. That's kind of like putting out snowmaking bids in the middle of December. You know, it's kind of past its time. And again, I know there's a lot of, I guess they had quite a record crowd down in Kingston last week. You know, they would have had steam engines in town.
Yeah.
So it was quite nice. But, you know, a lot of hard work is going into it. And, you know, hopefully, if they do find a bidder, we can get it back up and running again. And again, it's a wonderful attraction for the, you know, for Shandaken and Phoenicia, you know, Olive. You know, it's, every time I go by it on a weekend, there seems to be many people waiting online to take the train. And again, it's a big piece of history. You know, as most of you know, I've been in the ski industry all my life, and you know, when I moved to Phoenicia, did I know that I was going to be next to the very first ski area in New York State? No, that's where my house is. And to think that ski area was serviced by a train in New York City in 1946 is really amazing. You know, it was the birth of Catskills becoming the ski center. I mean, the first ski club was the Norway Ski Club, which the building still stands. There's a lot of history there. And again, I'm glad that the Phoenicia, you know, the Simpson ski area has got a historical designation. Maybe the railroads should have one. No. But that's pretty much what I report there. It's not really planning board business, but that's what we did discuss at the planning board meeting.
Yeah, I was thinking of that today. We were looking at the old canal in Marbletown area and stuff, and thinking how that superior engineering and all that miracle works that went on to create the canals. Now it's just gone. All that history's gone, and I hate to see the same thing happen with the railroad.
Especially in times where it seems that many of us are looking to go back to simpler times. Glamping is not camping, but it's getting back to nature, getting back to the environment.
And I'm a bicyclist myself, but I like to see, I think you can incorporate both. They say for some areas that might be a little dicey, but I mean, people are not afraid to go to work and make that happen. And again, I would love to see it, but I would hate to see that, you know, if you do have the operation of the train, there's some beautiful vistas that when you come out of Kingston and go out that way. I mean, again, making it for handicap accessible. You know, people that not necessarily can ride a bike out that way, and they can enjoy that. And again, the infrastructure is in place there. Yes, it needs more help. And again, it's something that, you know, I would hate to see it go.
Okay, thank you, Pete. Andy, you got anything for us? Okay, can you make a copy of the, or have you already made a copy of the county?
Yeah, here's the door.
I've already got that.
Yeah, you need another one?
No, I got it in my office. I just want to make sure everybody's got one. Okay.
Yeah.
If there's nothing else, then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
You haven't been to your office then? You need the message. Brian Doer's property.
No, I didn't.
I got New York Rising to
Oh, I can get that message.
know his house. But he's gonna have to, well, I got a couple questions here. I'll check it in, it's just the town that don't like that. He's gonna need, I mean, in order to do the site plan, have they want to propose a new location. As long as I get the building, what housing the building, once it's finished, the elevation will be BFE plus 2, which actually looks like it's gonna be BFE plus 5. Then they said, then they would pay to relocate. And that was the engineering part. My question was, I didn't know the elevation was gonna be until I got the certificate. I said, well, now, you gotta get a variance. You gotta put fire street up. Because it exceeds 3 stories. So when we told them down, well, that seems like it's gonna cost a lot more. Plus Steve Jones is a smaller family. So finally he got him in the pocket. So, but they'll do another review when they want. So basically, he just wants another site plan. Revision to current.
Yeah.